Hello, my name is Mary Jane Harris. Contrary to popular belief, I was not named after a certain herb. It was my then 5-year-old sister who named me. At least, that's what my mom told me, and I believe her. I was born and raised in the Philippines, an archipelago composed of 7,107 islands, in which 2,000 are inhabited and 5,000 still have no names. It was in 1995 when my family and I immigrated to the United States of America, the land of opportunity. We moved to Long Beach, California. One day, my family and I were walking downtown and came across an area with military recruiters. I had several family members in the Navy, but I had some who were in the Air Force. The ones from the Navy told me not to join the military, while my uncles in the Air Force told me to do it. So 6 months later, in 1996, I enlisted in the United States Air Force. At that time, President Bill Clinton was the head of the country. The average income per year was $36,300. A gallon of gas was $1.22. Mad cow in Britain, meningitis in West Africa, DVDs were launched in Japan, eBay started, and cloning of Dolly the sheep. That year, the following also came out: Jerry Maguire, Independence Day, Wannabe from Spice Girls, Mariah was topping the charts, and When Tupac Died. In July 1996, I stepped out of the Blue Bus at Lackland Air Force Base. The TI swarmed at us new recruits and yelled like maniacs. There was no turning back. The Blue Bus was gone. That night, as I lay in bed, I asked myself, what the heck did I get myself into? Day after day, night after night, TIs continued to yell. I would see the girls in my flight cry, and here I am standing strong, not fazed by all the yelling. So one day, one of the girls approached me and said, "You're one strong girl." To which I just nodded in agreement and said, "Yep, that was all me." But in reality, my TI spoke so fast that I never understood why he was yelling at me in the first place. After BMT and tech school, I was notified of my first duty assignment at Hill Air Force Base, Utah. It was cold AF. On my 2-year mark, I was tasked on a deployment at Prince Sultan Air Base, Saudi Arabia. Back then, deployments were only 3 months. When I came back to Utah, I met an incredible bunch of friends, in which to this day I am still friends with. As a young airman who was fresh off the boat with newfound freedom, it was a recipe for disaster. See, I never had guidance of what or how to be a successful airman, let alone as an immigrant. We didn't have Google back then. I have made mistakes and made lots of them. But out of all the craziness and life lessons learned, something great did bless me. My firstborn, Haven. After spending 5 years at Hill Air Force Base, Utah, I PCS to Hickam Air Force Base, Hawaii. As one relationship ended, another began. This is where I felt the most alive, where I experienced fear, anger, heartbreak, joy, all the emotions that life had to offer. This is where my life fell apart, but it is also where I picked it back up. It was in Hawaii where I met the love of my life, Justin. As a staff sergeant, I worked during the day and went to school at night and the weekends. After 9 years in the service, I decided to get out and finish my nursing degree with plans of commissioning right back into the Air Force. So, I joined the University of Hawaii's ROTC program. Through nursing school and ROTC, I have bonded with such an amazing group of friends.
It was in 2007 when I graduated nursing school
from Hawaii Pacific University. It was also the year I commissioned from University of Hawaii's ROTC program. Right after the ceremony, the Thunderbirds flew right over us. It was so amazing. After the nurse transitioning program at Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi, I was off to my first duty station as an officer at Eglin Air Force Base, Florida. There, I was assigned to the medical surgical floor. I learned how to be a nurse and quickly found out that med-surg was not for me. Nonetheless, Eglin was an awesome place. I met an awesome group of nurses and also where I introduced my husband to CrossFit. Also, Justin and I got married there, bought a house, and owned a Quiznos franchise. But it was also around that time when I lost my father from lung cancer. After a couple of years, I felt really homesick and I wanted to go back to Hawaii. In desperation, I had the idea of volunteering to Korea. As soon as we got notified, we sold everything we had. In 2010, we got to Korea and was assigned to emergency services. I had no business being there, but it was the Air Force's needs. The Air Force has this way of putting you in uncomfortable situations every single time. I did not realize then that the Air Force is preparing me into something that I could not comprehend at the time. Nonetheless, I have made this uncomfortable situation manageable by doing what I do best, and that is by making new friends whom I can make lasting memories with. That assignment turned out to be one of the best ones. Justin and I traveled all over Korea. We traveled to Japan, Philippines, and Thailand. 6 months into Korea, and they told me that there was no opening in Hawaii. My chief nurse convinced me to extend, hoping for an opening during the next cycle. But then, I got pregnant with my second child, Khaleesi. So I had to go back to the U.S. at Luke Air Force Base, Arizona. In 2012, I was assigned to Family Health at Luke. Not even a year in Family Health, another Air Force need arose. I got moved to internal medicine clinic. I didn't know what was expected of me. I had to learn and figure it out by myself. Meanwhile, my dear husband had an idea of opening a gym. So in 2013, we opened a CrossFit gym. At the time, both of us had a full-time job, a toddler, and now a full-blown gym. We were busy, but life was good. We loved and enjoyed every minute of it. Then 2014 rolls around. We had another baby, Uriah. Also that year is when I got accepted for the nurse practitioner program at Grand Canyon University. Things seemed to be working out until 2016 when I got notified of a deployment. With a full-time job, 2 toddlers, NP school, and a business, something had to give. With a heavy heart, we decided to sell the gym. Fast forward to July 2016. As soon as I hit the grounds of Qatar, the countdown started. I was lonely during that deployment, as I missed my family terribly. I missed every birthdays and holidays. Nevertheless, I gained long-lasting friendships during that deployment. My time in Qatar was cut short upon learning that my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, which, by the way, she beat. Coming back from deployment, I was given a choice on where I would like to work. I chose Family Health because I knew Major Souza was there. For some of you who don't know, we started our nursing careers together, and now we get to retire together. I had always looked up to her as she is a no-nonsense person who tells you how it is without the flowery BS. She is the kind of person who would get shit done. Through all these years, she kept true to herself and her integrity intact. And that is why she's the kind of leader whom I aspire to be. Out of 20 years in the service, I have spent a quarter of my career here at Luke. Although I have made long-lasting relationships, The thought of going back to Hawaii never left my mind. I have attempted to go back many times without any success, but I finally recognized that it is here where I grew the most. I have learned so much. I have held several positions and experienced an incredible amount of change. Yes, change can be a source of frustration and resentment. It can lead to unhappiness. Thus, many avoid and resist it. But try as they might, change will happen anyway. No matter where I go, no matter what I've been in life, there's no escaping it. Through the years, I have learned to not only accept change, but I learned how to embrace and own it. Because at the end of the day, it is that annoying and frustrating thing that we call change that kept me going. If there is one thing that I can leave is that learn to fall in love with change, as it is only then you will appreciate all the goodness that it has to offer. It is through change that we build meaningful relationships, leading us to growth and finding our true selves. 2018 is finally here. I graduated from nurse practitioner school and passed my certification exam. I just can't help but reflect the many attempts I tried to go back to Hawaii. God always said no. Now, I realize that no meant not yet. It has finally come in full circle. And guess what? I get to spend it in Hawaii, where I always wanted to be, with the people I love the most, my mother, my amazing husband, Justin, and my 3 kids, Haven, Khaleesi, and Uriah.
Hello, Mommy. I will miss you and you can do all the fun stuff you love you.
Thank you.